Hi, my name is Hania Ray, and I am a simp for plants. So today I want to show you guys how to grow a philodendron plant. If you're like me, you probably noticed there's a lot of plants that are super expensive out there, but there are easier ways. So I wanted to show you how to grow a Philodendron Hope from seed. You can find these little tiny seeds online. I think it's usually like 10 to 15 bucks for 15 to 20 seeds. It could be a lot cheaper. Maybe it's like $5. I will put links down below if you want to see, and you can kind of get a sense. They're like little white flecks of seeds, smaller than a grain of rice. So today I'm going to show you how cheap and easy it is to get these seeds to germinate. So the first thing you need is a container. And this is honestly just my lunch container from last week. And I'm going to take an isopropyl alcohol wipe. I think it's 70% alcohol. It should kill any bacteria or fungus or anything that's inside of that lunch container that might cause your seeds to get some fungus on them. You definitely don't want that to happen because you probably would have to throw out your entire seed batch and that would suck. All right, so I'm just cleaning. Cool. So now I have my see-through plastic container and we're good to go for the next step. So the next step is Sphagnum Moss. And you can get this at most garden centers. I actually got this brick at Petco, believe it or not. They sell sphagnum moss for terrariums and for reptile enclosures. You can just go buy this pretty much anywhere that caters to gardening or to pet supplies. So what we're going to do is just take a little bit of sphagnum moss. We're going to slowly just rip it apart. We want it to be nice and airy a little bit. And that's probably good. Cool. So just a container with a little bit of sphagnum moss in it. I just ripped it up a tiny bit, and then the next step is some dechlorinated tap water. So to dechlorinate tap water, you just basically leave the tap water out for essentially 24 hours. That means the chlorine evaporates through the top hole in the container, and your water won't be totally chemical free, but it'll be a lot better for seedlings. And this is just a gallon that was at one point distilled water, and I just put some tap water in and let it sit overnight, and then some hours, of course. So I just want to pour in a tiny bit on my sphagnum moss to get it nice and wet. And now, okay, so it's a little swimming. There's like a little bit of water in there. And the next step is you want the sphagnum moss, essentially to be like a little sponge. So I am soaking up the water with this sphagnum moss, and then you can see there's still a lot of water that remains in this little dish. I'm going to squeeze out the moss so that it's kind of like a wrung out sponge. And then I'm going to get a cup nearby and pour out that excess water, because we don't want our seeds to essentially be swimming in excess water. That could lead to more fungus, or I guess essentially your seeds would be drowning in water, and that's not how they would germinate. So we've got our moist sphagnum moss. It's maybe about an inch in there, and believe it or not, this is how easy this is. We're just going to take the seeds and we are going to, if you can see, there's like a lot of little open holes. We're just gonna sprinkle these philodendron seeds in here. And what will happen is they will fall into these little moss holes. And you don't really need to bury them in soil. They will be just fine in sphagnum moss. And they need a lot of air, they need sunlight. So when I place them on a shelf, I'll eventually put them in bright and direct light so they get a little bit, but I won't put them in full sun. And that should help them germinate. On this baggie, I think it's from Seaville, USA, it says germination time can take anywhere between 1 to 4 months. I've had some, I will show you guys this little example. This guy took about 2 months to germinate. Other seeds that I planted with him still haven't germinated. It's a crapshoot. You're just gonna have to like watch for these guys. They will show up in the little green seedling. Yay! So you've got your container, you've got your moist sphagnum moss, you've got your seeds inside of here. Cool. So we are going to close it, and you're almost good to go, except what I did, and maybe some people might say just leave your lid open on the container a little bit. I don't. I actually just took some tweezers and I put the tweezers, I drilled like little holes with my tweezers, or made little holes in the top. And then I also made one more little hole in the bottom. So when I water these little guys, I will make sure to not let them sit in water. They get some airflow through the top, and then any excess moisture comes out through the bottom, sort of just like a normal plant pot. And now they're good to go. If you found this video helpful, please consider liking and subscribing it. Feel free to leave me questions in the comments if anything was unclear. I just want to help people grow their favorite types of plants. Philodendrons and anthuriums, a lot of the aroid plants are a little bit unique in how their seeds work, but they can also be kind of similar, which makes it easier if you try different species. Anyway, this was Henia Ray showing you guys how to grow some plants. Awesome. Well, I will hopefully see you guys either later this week or early next. Bye.